Hello everyone, in today's chess video, we are going to look at how to play and study the Italian game. Basically, in this video, I'll be teaching you all the details and the principles of playing the Italian game with the white and with the black side. So basically, Italian game is one of the most popular openings in all the levels of chess. And today, we're going to study the Italian game perfectly. So here, let's study it from the white side first. So we start with the move e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop c4. So this is the Italian game. Before this, after knight c6, we can play many other moves. We can play the Ruy Lopez with bishop b5. We can play something like d4, the Scotch opening. But here, we are focusing on the Italian game, which starts with the move bishop c4. So in this position, black has mainly two responses. Either bishop c5 or either knight f6. Oops, knight f6. And in this video, we are going to mainly focus on these two options. Okay, so here we start with the move bishop c5. So this is known as the Giuco Piano game. You can also pronounce it as the Geico Piano game, and there are many other ways to pronounce it. I personally call it the Giuco Piano game. And this is also one of the most traditional and very famous opening at all levels of chess. You will see this very often, especially in the intermediate and advanced level. Okay, so basically, this opening is all about the development of the kingside pieces with the bishops and the knights and controlling the center. It's a very traditional opening, and we play it in very different ways. Sorry. So here we have two options. We can either play d3 or we can play c3. The most preferred and common option is play c3, um, encouraging to play d4, which attacks the center and automatically white wins it. But obviously, black is not so stupid and does not allow it so easily. What black does is plays knight f6. This is also one of the most common moves played here, attacking this pawn. Now, white can simply not play d4 because this pawn is hanging, or he can. So here, there are two options again available for white. Either white can play the move d3, which goes with the Giuco Pianismo variation. This is the main line Giuco Pianismo variation, where you defend the pawn. But the most common move again here is the move d4, threatening, avoiding the pawn. But now white is also attacking the bishop, so you cannot take this pawn. But what black does is the main move for black, obviously, it cannot retreat his bishop because after the pawn's going, like if he retreats the bishop, the pawn takes, if the knight takes, we have a much better position because after castling, we have castled and the white's pieces are not so active and the center is not there. We have a center pawn. Our pieces are much active. We have castled. We have much more open lines and much more development advantage. So hence, in this position, black mostly takes this pawn. So after you take, obviously white will take this back, and now the bishop has many options. It can either go to b6, either it can go to f1, and the most popular is again bishop d4 check. So let's look at bishop to f1 first, f8, sorry. So basically this is obviously not a good move because the piece you got out, you're retreating it back. Basically we can simply play moves like e5, d5, um, harass these knights and just have a huge space and center advantage, because when these knights go, we get moves and we can castle, we can develop more and easily win the game because of this huge development advantage. So here, white can also play the move bishop b6. Now this is not as bad as bishop f8, but again, the bishop is not doing anything here. It's blocked and it is very passive. We can again play the move like something like e5, get this knight out of here, harass it, and then after the knight goes somewhere like this. So if you play this, 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 the knight is being pushed to the corner of the board. We are completely going bam bam. We can castle. We are much ahead in development and we are just winning here. So that's why bishop to b6 is also very less popular. The most common move in this position is the move bishop b4 check. Now why is this good? Because it comes with a check. So the king has to do something about it. Basically, going to king f1 is not a good idea because you're losing the rights of castling, which is not good. And the most popular moves again here are knight d2 or bishop d2. So the most popular here is bishop d2 because If you play moves like knight b to d2, black can simply take this pawn, and now you cannot take back because of the pin, and now black is up a pawn, and it is threatening and pressuring your position. So basically bishop d2 is always played here. But after this, now there are two common responses. Either knight captures e4, either bishop captures d2. We are going to look at them in detail. If knight captures e4 comes, you need not to worry. Why? Because you can simply play the move bishop b4. And after knight captures b4, your opponent might think, oh, I'm just a pawn up and simply winning. But that's not the case. Here, white is a little better because white can play the shocking move bishop captures f7 check. And now black must be like, what the hell is white doing? He's just giving up his bishop. But that's not the case. After black takes the bishop, we can simply play the move queen b3 check. We win this knight by forking both the king and knight. So however black responds, we simply win the knight. For example d5, we can first play this check because getting the piece into action with a tempo, with a check. So first the king has to move, and then we can take this knight, and now we are just completely not winning, but we have an advantage because the king is exposed. It is in the center. Our knight is well placed. We can push this pawn after castling, and then we can create an attack and somehow manage to win this game. But for sure, we are in a huge advantage in this position. So this is not how. If you go back after this, you cannot simply take this pawn. It is not that easy. So first, the most preferred move here is bishop captures d2. And after this, you cannot play a move like queen captures d2 because you can lose this pawn and you don't want to lose a pawn in the opening. So you play the move knight b captures d2. You don't take with this knight because this knight has already come out. You want to develop another piece, right? So you play with this. And now, again, the most common move is firstly, before the common move, I would like to talk about the position. And it automatically is connected with the most common move. Because the white's position is so beautiful because of these two center pawns proudly standing and controlling the center so beautifully, black can simply play d5. And now black says, oh, come on, capture me and I'll break your center. So this is why black plays d5, so he can scramble your center and does not let you have the advantage. So here again there are two main responses. The old style of playing this is the way e5 and other players play, but the new trend is to now capture this, because after you play e5, what black does is captures this, you capture, and black castles. And now here the position is -1 for white. I mean, black has an advantage by 1 point, so the computer doesn't like it. So what I'll be discussing with you is e captures d5. Here there are many moves. Again, black can just simply play knight captures d5, and now what we have to do is castle. Now we are in a completely fine position with three pieces out. So again, the black, you cannot have this king exposed because of these rooks and checks and these pressuring of the diagonal of the open diagonal, and the bishop is perfectly placed. So black has to always castle. In this position, you have three pieces out and black has only two. Now it is our chance, so we can even get this rook out. We can somehow develop the queen, and we'll always stay a little bit of development ahead, and we'll always have that little bit of edge playing into the middle game. So this is how you can play with the bishop c5, the Giuco piano game. Now we're going to look at our second phase, which is the Italian game. Which is the two knights defense. After this is right now very trending. Everyone plays the two knights defense. So here, a lot of players, as white, go with the knight g5 thing. This is not correct, guys. Because, okay, if I switch the board right here, so here black can play the move d5, and after you take, there are very nasty traps here for black. He can play the type of a Blackburn Shilling Gambit, because I made a video on this specific move. There's a trap related to this move. Click out on the I button above to watch that video, and you'll find the trap. So basically, this is a very deadly trap after there. You can watch it on the I button as I mentioned it. So you should not play this because attacking here basically makes no sense. you're moving your piece twice, which is violating an opening principle, which says that you cannot touch a piece twice in the opening because you have to let other pieces out. So basically, instead of doing this, you could have simply done this basically, or castle. But this violates an opening principle, which is not good, and simply black can win after many position advantage, something like after, sorry, knight g5, d5 takes, and if you do not play the trap, you can play the move bishop a5, which is a polaro, sorry, knight e5 with a polaro defense. And after all this position, I'll be going quick here because we are not covering this part, we are not focusing here. So after, imagine the bishop plays something like this, we can simply kick out the knight completely, and now this knight is also down. What here happens is we are one pawn down, but we have a huge lead in development because we can play moves like them. The knight is thrash, the bishop is not that good, we can castle, and we'll always have an edge in this game. Okay, so let's not look in this. Let's go back. Let's again switch the board. Um, so here, what white does is, white should do is not play the move g5, knight g5. I would not recommend you this, and just play the move d3. This is as simple as you can do. Okay, now you might also think, why cannot we play the move knight c3? This also defends the pawn, right? Because if you focus, knight f6 attacks this pawn. So you have two options, right? You can play knight c3 and d3. Why should you not play knight c3? Because black can play a simply cunning move, something like knight captures e4. And you might be like, what the hell? Because I can simply take. But black has a tactical idea here. Black can play d5, and now you are in a fork. Basically, you do not lose material after something like bishop captures d5, queen captures d5. But if you see, black has a completely winning position because he has a center pawn. The queen is out. It is attacking your knight, so basically it goes back. And after this position, if I switch on the evolution bar, it is 0.3 for black, or 0 0. But I think black has an edge because he has two bishops firstly, on an open board. So basically this is an open board and bishops are good on open board. So he has two bishops. White has only one, which is not that good. So that's why I do not prefer the move knight c3. But simply can play the move d3. Now, I'll switch off the evolution bar. Now, as you can see, you're simply defending the pawn. You have opened the diagonal for the bishop to attack. Again, you can get this knight. Now you have no threat, sorry. Now you don't have any threat of knight captures e4 because you can take with the pawn. And your position is much better. So here black can play a variety of moves. He can play the move bishop c5. He can play the move bishop e7. He can play d6 as well. So if you go with a move like d6, which is not good because you open this bishop, but ultimately you hamper the development of this bishop, which is not good. So hence you should first play the move bishop c5, and then you can play the move d6. Okay, so after bishop c5, you need not to worry. You can simply castle, wait for the opponent to do anything. Now if we play something like d6, we do not have to play something like knight c3. We have to first block this pin by playing the move h3. So the bishop can never annoy us in the future. So after you have played s3 and the opponent castles, now you can get your bishops like bishop g5, play something like knight c3, make your own plan in the middle game and completely anchor the position. So this is how you play with the white side, and if you go with the black side, it's pretty much the same. You don't have to focus much there. In the black side, you have to just follow all the things. After bishop c5, you can play, if the white player plays this, you can play bishop c5 and knight f6. You can play anything, but just focus on developing your pieces, follow basic opening principles, and you'll be completely okay. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please like, share and subscribe, and tell me in the comments which video do you want next. Bye bye.